All right, now we're following political developments. We're following the protests that have been taking place across South Africa. And of course, we heard from the president a short while ago. Now in Gauteng, Premier David Makhura and the Provincial Police Commissioner are about to brief the media on the recent violent protests. Let's see if we can dip into that and hear what's being said right now.
From the foreign nationals who were shooting randomly at a group of people who roaming around with a possible intention of looting. A landlord who is a 35-year-old was arrested in Gauteng when he confronted a group of people that allegedly came loot a tuck shop in his premises. One person was fatally shot and another taken to hospital with a gunshot injuries. 20 other arrests were effected in Germiston on charges of possession of suspected stolen properties. Police are monitoring a hostel in Tembisa where 4 vehicles were found burnt and several people reported to have been robbed nearby. Other areas of Johannesburg, Tshwane, remain calm as police reinforcement have increased patrols. We are happy that the law-abiding members of the community are becoming frustrated about these criminals who are targeting businesses in their areas, as they have joined the police to restore law and order. This comes after a group of residents in Katlehong North last night, about 2200 hours, confronted a group of people who broke into a local mall and looted 2 stores. The residents chased the group away and prevented further looting of other stores. In the meantime, police are investigating the 2 murder cases of 2 unknown people who were allegedly assaulted and burnt. The bodies were found.
All right, so confirmation stores
this morning in Katlehong. At this stage, it is unknown whether the murder are linked to the upsurge of violence and looting in the area. The security cluster, consisting of the members of the EMPD, South African Police, Gauteng Community Safety, are working on a 72-hour stabilization plan to ensure that peace and stability is restored in this region. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant General Makhura. So colleagues will just obviously allow you to ask questions. Then you want
the other way around. Yeah. The other way around.
Okay.
Yes.
The Premier will just add something.
So the Provincial Commissioner has issued a statement as he was going through that. I just want to say that Ekhuruleni was the last of the areas where the police had to focus on stabilizing this area. We are very concerned that actually yesterday the fake news that went around, particularly about the fake news about the Pakistanis and Somalis going to kidnap children in schools, which is fake news, so which means it was totally false, caused a lot of panic in Ekhuruleni. As some of you may know, the police started dealing with this situation in Johannesburg on Sunday, and by Tuesday, when we suspended the sitting of the legislature, we joined the police to work with them, to support them in different places. The situation in Johannesburg came under control, and the last areas in Johannesburg was in Coronationville, again, where 2 people were killed at 2 different shops where people were trying to break into the shops there. But Johannesburg, as we speak, is fairly stable. There is no incident related to violence and looting in Johannesburg. You know that Tshwane started with the incident related to the killing of the taxi driver. In fact, that's where last week Thursday the situation was very tense. But the work that our MEC for transport has been doing with the leadership of the taxi industry and the leadership of the city of Tshwane, stabilize that. By Tuesday, Tshwane was stable, but there were still a lot of fake news circulating around, including using the names of the leadership of the taxi industry, who were very upset. For example, I know Mr. Ralph Jones of Santaco was very upset, and Mr. Mkonza. There was a WhatsApp message circulating around saying that they are going to be there will be a shutdown, and the leadership of the taxi industry issued a statement. Tshwane is still calm, and the work that government, both provincial government and the municipality, is doing with the city leadership, with the leadership of the taxi industry, has helped to calm the situation. So Ekhuruleni, I'm saying Ekhuruleni was made worse by the fake news yesterday, and overnight, a number of areas in Ekhuruleni, including Tembisa, Kwatema, Davidton, and Gauteng, we had groups that literally went. In some instances, they were able to break into shops and loot, but in many areas, the police came, the Metro Police and the South African Police Service came, and people were able to run away. And again, 2 lives were lost in Ekhuruleni, in the Kwatema area. The incident is related to the looting of the shops and the shop owners shooting back. It's the same thing that happened in Coronationville. So I said 2 people in Coronationville and 2 people in Kwatema. Same way when people came to try and loot. And in some instances, even innocent people in the course of that who are crossing the streets, when the looters, which we basically just say is the criminal element, somebody needs to convince us otherwise. When the criminal element that gets to loot, there's a stampede. Sometimes innocent people who are passing through are also harmed in the process. In Alexandra, you would know that the police yesterday discovered 2 bodies that were burnt, bodies in the shops that were burnt down. And the police are still doing their work in this regard. I want to come back to Ekhuruleni. I think the whole focus of the provincial government and the leadership of the city has been on Ekhuruleni. But from Tuesday, I want to also say that we have been working with other parties. I went around on Tuesday with the leadership of the Democratic Alliance in Gauteng, with the leadership of the ACDP, who are members, and the leadership of the EFF, who are members of the legislature. We, later in the afternoon, also linked up with the leadership of the IFP, particularly when we were dealing with the hostels in GP's town. And even today, we have the secretary of the IFP in Gauteng here, Mr. Ngobese. And the message I'm conveying is that we've been working across parties, different parties in Gauteng province, to send one message, that we want peace, we don't want violence, we don't want resort to, it doesn't matter what the issues were. Once people resort to violence, they resort to looting, this is criminal activity. And the people of our province have been responding to this message in many areas where we went. And that's why in Gauteng, people are also now saying they will take some steps themselves. When they see the criminal element, they will accost the criminal element, which is what they did in Gauteng yesterday. So the only place where we still have work being done, the mayor was in Gauteng, he's just returned from Gauteng. We have an area in Gauteng called Madiba, Mandela, where he comes from. The MECs and the MMCs and the leadership of the IFP were in different areas. All the other areas in Ekhuruleni are calm at the moment. The only area that where we still have a group that's giving us a great deal of worry is in Gauteng, but the police have reinforced. I want to also take the opportunity to thank the law enforcement agencies in Gauteng province, who have worked tirelessly across the board. They've been working very, very hard, essentially not sleeping. We communicate overnight, throughout the night, about what the situation is like. I also want to thank the leaders of the different political parties in Gauteng who saw it fit to suspend the sitting of the legislature. And not only did that, but they joined us as we went to different areas in our province. We are very confident that we will bring the Katlehong situation under control. Again, with it's a two-pronged strategy. The police do their work, but the political leadership has to be there. MEC Lissufi yesterday had to deal with the situation of schools which were disrupted because of this fake news about the children being kidnapped. And I'm glad the mayor will deal with the issue of what the city has done with an officer of law, who basically is the one who circulated the video that caused lots of panic. I know parents had a great difficulty. Many parents rushed to the schools to go and pick up their children. But that was fake news, total fake news. There were no Somalis, there were no Pakistanis who were going to schools to kidnap children. And that panic button that was pressed yesterday, the people in the hostel there in Thokoza got to organize themselves, because everybody, wherever they were, thought there was a big fight. They started organizing themselves, and it took a lot of work to persuade. Some people who got out where they were in the informal settlements also got the information that they are now coming for you. And we also know there are videos, some of the videos of events that did not even take place in this province, some of them not even in the country. Not even recently. Some of them may be old videos. They are being fed, being circulated and being fed to create panic and create a sense that the situation is totally out of hand. I want to say that the police have done a great job in calming the situation. As I say, the political leadership of government, and in this particular case, I also spoke to all the mayors of the 3 metros. I spoke to Mayor Mashaba yesterday, and on Tuesday, I also spoke to the mayor of Tshwane and the mayor of Ekhuruleni. Even in this, we want a comprehensive government response. We have also been working with the Minister of Safety. Comprehensive government response, but also responding well. But fake news are very, very dangerous, we must say. When people see something happening, by the time there's an intervention, the fake news are running very, very fast. And that's the situation in Ekhuruleni, that if it wasn't for this fake news yesterday that created a lot of panic, we wouldn't be in this situation. But the police are on full alert across the province. Even us as political leaders and as government leaders, leaders of various parties are communicating all the time. I'm communicating as well with, whenever I get a message, sometimes from councillors across parties, when they say there's a problem in this area, there's a panic button being pressed, we send the police these messages so that the police can respond. So we will definitely bring Katlehong under control. I think we're confident that the group where there's still a potential for them to loot, where the mayor comes from, the team of the MECs that are here who have gone to different areas are also working tirelessly. We hope we will bring the situation under control. The police do their policing work, and the political leadership talk to the people to make them understand that sometimes we find lots of information when we talk to people. Sometimes there are incidents that are not related to the violence and looting. For example, MEC Mutara was in Benoni, Wattville, where an old man collapsed and passed away next to the hostel out of natural illness. And the message that was going around was that he was shot and killed by people in the hostel. So that another group in the community was now already getting mobilized to go and attack people in the hostel. In Tokoza yesterday, people in the hostel were told that the Pakistanis are kidnapping children. And as they got out themselves, people in the township panicked because so this can cause a great deal of panic. We want our people to be cautious, and we are there all the way throughout the night, working with the police in different parts of the province to bring the situation under control. Violence can never be the answer. And this I also said yesterday, everybody must abide by the law of our land. South Africans must abide by the laws of our land, and foreign nationals must abide by the laws of our land. We have found that in a number of instances, people are just doing as they wish, including those who have unlicensed firearms, who the police are arresting. Every time they find this, they're arresting them. Some are guarding their shops with unlicensed firearms. That's breaking the laws of our land. And the police are arresting people who are breaking the law, regardless of nationality. Crime is crime. And that's what we are. That pertains to the officer who actually caused lots of panic yesterday.
No, thank you very much, Premier Makhura. Thank you very much, Premier Makhura. We were in touch with the Chief of Police after we saw the video that was circulating, and a decision has been made by the Chief of Police and the team to immediately suspend the officer because she actually has plunged the city into crisis. We have been dealing with this issue of dealing with the illegal goods that are being sold, food that is not proper. So every Friday when we go out to service delivery meetings, we do interact with the spaza shop owners to inspect through our health department, to inspect the food, but also to ensure that there are no activities that are untowards that are taking place there. So there is that kind of relationship that we've built over time. So we are saying that what we are currently witnessing is really an incidence of criminality, and there is an extent of violence. And we have no doubt that there are people who are beginning to take advantage, of the situation, to perpetuate, so that the country is seen to be perpetuating xenophobic tendencies. So the issue here, in our view, is that there's criminality and there's violence that is taking place, and the law enforcement is doing everything possible. As the political leadership, ours is to make sure that we give them all the necessary support to bring peace into our communities. And I think as a last point, would like to call for calm and peace in the community, so that if there are genuine issues, we begin to sit down. I will be returning to Katlego, because the issue that is emerging there now is that there is a group of people who say they are targeting certain nationalities who are South Africans, so which is a major problem. So we've got to go there and engage with the community to make people understand that South Africa belongs to all who live in it. And worse, when we start to discriminate amongst ourselves, when we know that we're a country with 11 official languages, but we say, no, these ones are the unwanted here. So I think that it's a serious issue that the leadership, including the Premier, will have to intervene to make sure that there's calm in the area. So when I left, I saw the community was organizing itself. So we're trying to get the leadership to come and talk to us so that we can find a way of resolving that. But also, the police will be moving in there to make sure that we restore law and order in the country. Thank you very much, Premier.
Thank you very much, Premier. Colleagues, just by a show of hands, just say who you are and where you come from. And number one, number two, number three, left that. Then it should.
Thank you. My name is Rosie from the SABC News. Commissioner, can you just give us an idea of how many people have died since Sunday? And just also clarify how many arrests in total? And with regards to the bodies that were found in Alex, how are you going to verify their nationalities? Yeah, that's it.
Commissioner, in terms of the reason of the evidence behind these attacks, I just want to know, are these different events that are occurring around the province, or is it driven from maybe one particular group or one person that is actually driving these criminal activities?
Good day, my name is Longani from KCFM. Premier, what is your response on the allegation by the African diaspora that comments that you made during time operations that contributed to the looting and violence against foreign nationals, and the comments made by the former president, there is a particular lack of leadership in dealing with these incidents in our area?
General.
Thank you very much. With regard to the arrest, ever since this incident started in the province, we've arrested 334, and yesterday with the 89 we've arrested in Ekhuruleni region. The figure stands at 423. Coming to the death, there are people who died, and during our investigation we've established that they are not directly linked to the unrest. But those whom we have directly linked to the unrest is total. I'll give you the breakdown. Firstly, it's a taxi operator in Tshwane. And then we had two in Alex. In Alex, those who burned down, one at the bookstore and another one in a furniture shop. We also had a death in Hillbrow, whereby a group of protesters, they were moving from Mai towards Hillbrow. And while they are running there, there was a stone which was thrown on top of the building, and it struck one of the protesters. He was taken to hospital. Later on, he passed on. In Hillbrow, the Premier have already touched on that, whereby two people were shot by the shop owners. So in Katlego, in Kwatema yesterday, two people were shot at, one passed on, another one went to hospital. So it brings us to a figure of 7. Like I'm saying that there were other people who died, whether due to criminality or something not directly related to the incident, they are also investigated. So the issue, the nationality. What was the issue about the nationality?
Alexandra once.
Oh yeah, how are we going to establish the nationality of those who passed on? Those people were taken in to the mortuaries, whereby the pathologist, they will conduct a DNA test. Obviously, those are the specialists in those fields, are the ones who are going to try to identify for us, you know, the gender of the people who passed on and who may be the people who have passed on. Surely, if these are the local people, their next of kin, obviously they will visit different mortuaries to come and try and identify those who have passed on. So the pathologists, they can also invite the next of kin to can come in so that they take their DNA and then try to match with the DNA of those who passed on. That's
our viewers on SABC News.